Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, Bitcoin might be about to take a huge step in the right direction. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently testing resistance at the 20 daily exponential moving average. That's one of the most important levels of resistance that Bitcoin currently faces. Just a few days ago, guys, Bitcoin actually did break bullish out of a consolidation pattern over here that we talked about on the channel. But instead of breaking very bullish and breaking up to like $8,000 or something, Bitcoin instead redefined that consolidation pattern around the 20 daily exponential moving average, as you can see right here. This caused the same level of support, this same uptrend of support to be important, but now instead of having this downtrend of resistance, we have set the 20 daily exponential moving average as our resistance to beat, meaning that we're actually kind of in a consolidation pattern once again. So in this video, guys, we're going to discuss why this is so significant for Bitcoin, how Bitcoin can break above this resistance, and all relevant factors affecting the market right now so you guys understand how to trade it. If you guys want to see all the major resistance that Bitcoin currently faces, understand the odds of the breakout that Bitcoin is attempting to put in, a better understanding of this market in general, I highly encourage you guys to watch until the end of the video. If you guys do enjoy today's video, likes are appreciated and subscribers are always welcome. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Mermaid at heart. Alright guys, 2 days ago, Bitcoin was in this consolidation pattern as we can see right here. Bitcoin was continually testing our downtrend of resistance over and over and over and over again. That's something that we talked about quite a lot here on the channel, and Bitcoin did eventually break to the upside. As you guys know, all of the technicals really lined up to show that a bullish breakout was coming to Bitcoin. MACD on every single time frame, the hourly, the 4 hourly, the daily chart, they all looked bullish. Bitcoin is now bullish on all of these intervals. Bitcoin is even starting to converge bullish on the weekly chart. Not only that, guys, a lot of times you can tell which direction a market's going to break out because of which level the market is trading against, whether it's trading against the support or resistance. And Bitcoin was very clearly favoring the resistance right here, which is why we broke it. But guys, that's all well and good that we broke bullish, but the fact of the matter is we still haven't put a higher high in. Bitcoin is still below $7,800, and we didn't really have a major blow-off top rally right here. So what gives? Guys, over the last 5 months, and especially over the last month or two, Bitcoin has fallen quite far, quite quickly. Bitcoin fell out of our consolidation pattern over here, traded sideways, fell again. Then we had a big rally that instilled a lot of hope in the market, and then that got crushed also. The bulls have been beaten down, guys. They've been beaten down time and time again in this market. Every time that they try to stage a comeback, every time that they try to put in a new higher high, boredom in the market sets in and they simply fail. Either that or sometimes market manipulation happens. Now, you guys know I don't like jumping to market manipulation, but sometimes it does happen. Sometimes there are major sell orders on one of the exchanges that BitMEX follows, and then BitMEX has a massive crash, and then the shorters there cause the market to crash further. I understand. Things like that do happen. So there's been a lot of forces driving Bitcoin to the downside over the last several months. And because of all that, guys, like I said, the bulls are feeling very weak. And one of the symptoms of that is that we have not started to rally here very quickly. Bitcoin put a bottom in relatively quickly, but this new uptrend is not moving very fast at all. And we're going to discuss what that means later on in this video. But for now, I want you to understand why we're not rallying very quickly. The main reason is because of the market sentiment. The main reason is because a lot of people are skeptical about getting in the market because they've been crushed so much. Bitcoin has been pushed down and down and down and down time and time again. And that's something that people are getting tired of. Make no mistake, these longs did not just moon 50% in 2 weeks for no reason. It's because people expect that the bottom is close. But we're rallying slowly because people have it in their mind that we're in a downtrend and the trend is your friend until it ends. And they're right. So that's a big part of the reason why we're rallying slowly. Another reason why we're rallying slowly, guys, has a lot to do with the levels of resistance that we're looking at. And I promise all of this is going to be tied back together in a big bow at the end of the video. Just have patience with me. A big reason why Bitcoin is having trouble rallying right now is very simple. It's the 20 daily exponential moving average. Look at this, guys. Bitcoin is below it. We've tested resistance on it once, twice, thrice. Bitcoin has tested it 3 times, and so far Bitcoin has failed to get above it all 3 times. But that doesn't mean that that trend has to continue, guys. Bitcoin has been above the 20 EMA for actually the majority of this year. Ever since we put the high in at 13.8, Bitcoin has been either trading sideways through it or has been predominantly below it, but that doesn't mean that has to last forever. Bitcoin is rallying relatively slowly right now, but that doesn't mean that has to last forever. Bitcoin has some major resistance above it, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin will never get back up above it. But it is important that we understand what Bitcoin is facing, and the 20 EMA right now is a major threat to a Bitcoin uptrend. It's one level that we need desperately to get above if and only if we want to put a rally in. Furthermore, guys, it's not just the 20 daily exponential moving average giving us major resistance. It's also the VPVR. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the VPVR has a gigantic climax at exactly $8,000 right above us. And if we look at where we're trading right now, look at where we're trading right there below all of this. Bitcoin is trading right here, and right up here, the largest VPVR climax of the entire year shows up, bar some trading down here that is largely irrelevant now. Bitcoin is not moving for two reasons: boredom in the market, and because we're sitting below huge resistance. By the way, guys, if you don't have the VPVR, you can get it by going to the indicators tab, and then you're going to have to go to volume profile, and then you go to visible range. If you don't have TradingView Pro, then you're going to need to upgrade to TradingView Pro, which honestly, if you're going to be charting every day, is a good idea anyway. If you use the link down below, you'll get $30 in credit towards paying for that TradingView subscription. So use the link down below, you'll help both of us out. Nevertheless, the VPVR is one of the main things holding us down, but it's not just that. Because on the hourly chart, we're also going to find that there's a major zone of resistance in between about $7,600 and $8,000. That zone of resistance is right here. As you guys can see, Bitcoin has a plethora of bottoms and lows down here going back as far as June and May of this year. This is a very strong level of resistance for us because of the lows we put in and also because of that VPVR climax. So guys, we find ourselves in an interesting position here. We're sitting below major resistance that has three main components: the 20D EMA, the VPVR, and that zone of resistance that we just looked at. But at the same time, if you look at the longs chart, if you look at some of the sentiment analysis in cryptocurrency, a lot of people are getting more bullish on Bitcoin. A lot of people are getting more excited on Bitcoin. A lot of people are starting to buy and dollar cost average into Bitcoin because they're looking forward to the future and they think this pullback is getting close to done. So where do we find ourselves? Well, that's an interesting question, young Padawan. I say that we find ourselves in a very decisive moment in the history of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has some major resistance above it that if we break, we're likely to go into a rally that will restart the bull market. But at the same time, even though that resistance is very strong, the people are starting to get more bullish on Bitcoin. Even though we've been setting lower highs, we have still been setting higher lows. We're getting closer to the end of another consolidation pattern, guys. Right in here, as you can see, this red downtrend right there, that is pretty much exactly where the 20D EMA is moving. And if you draw it out, it looks like Bitcoin's in another consolidation pattern that's going to end in about 2 days, which means we're probably going to be seeing a breakout in the next 2 days. And guys, if this does manage to become a bullish breakout and we get above, I'm going to say about $8,200, we're probably off to the races, because that's the majority of the resistance. What we have right now is something that I discussed in a video that was made over a year ago in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy: the convergence of support and resistance. As you guys can see, those three levels of resistance I was showing you, they are all lining up in between $7,600 and $8,000. What that means is that we are facing very strong resistance, which explains why we have not gotten above these levels just yet. But at the same time, what that also means is that if we even for a second rally up here to like $8,400, we're probably not going back, because that means that it's all behind us and all of that resistance all of a sudden just turned into support. The exact same thing happened at $6,000 earlier this year, guys. $6,000 was huge resistance. We didn't spend much time below it, but once we got back up above it, we have yet to go below it nearly 8 months later. So what? Bitcoin is sitting below major resistance. We have a lot of exuberance in the market. Which direction is Bitcoin actually going to break? I know that's the question you want the answer to. Well, guys, I'm going to be the first to tell you that there's actually a strong case to be made for either argument, bullish or bearish. And the reason I say that is because Bitcoin has all of this resistance above it. If we are able to get above it, because Bitcoin has shown signs of exuberance and has shown signs of wanting to rally, if we're able to get above it, it's going to be a big deal. But at the same time, you have to understand, when resistance converges on itself like that, it's extremely difficult to get through. So what we're doing right now is we're playing a high risk, high reward game of blackjack, wherever if we do break out and if we do hit 21 perfectly, guys, we are going to go to the moon. But if we bust, we are definitely going to be busting, because we're probably going to come down here to $6,500 or even lower down to 6K, maybe even 5 or 5.5. We are at a decision point. I feel like you guys don't like when I say we're at a decision point, but we most certainly are, guys. We're deciding what's going to happen in the next couple of months in cryptocurrency, probably in the next couple of days. And I'm not saying that to clickbait you guys. There's a reason I didn't say all of that earlier in the video, because I wanted you guys to watch through and understand the reasoning before I said it. But the point here is that Bitcoin has a decision to make. It needs to decide if it's going to actually get above this resistance, or if it's going to break this crucial uptrend of support right here and start a new downtrend. Because if we start a new downtrend, guys, we're headed back to $6,500. And frankly, guys, I can read you all the technicals I want, but I'm split. Bitcoin has some very bullish technicals right now. The daily chart is bullish. We have a bullish cross on the MACD. The RSI is looking fine. The weekly chart MACD is converging bullish on itself. Bitcoin's having that weekly cross on the 50 and the 100 simple moving average in the next week. There are bullish technicals, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin has to follow them. Because all that has to happen is that the bulls are not quite strong enough to break that resistance, and eventually that 20 EMA is going to drive us into this level of support, and if we don't break bullish, we're going to be forced to break bearish. So I want you guys to understand something. While Bitcoin is in a prime situation to start a new rally and get above major levels of resistance, it is also still facing major levels of resistance. Moving into this coming week, we need to watch out for major moves. I think volatility is going to be returning to Bitcoin. I think all this low volume that we've been looking at, I think that's going to start trending to the other direction because we're going to run into some of these levels. We're going to run into this support or that resistance, and Bitcoin's going to be forced to choose. So guys, what I want you to do in this market moving into the next several days, I want you to be safe. I want you to be cautious, and I want you to watch like a hawk for breakouts, because I think one's coming, and it could be very profitable, but if you are not watching it to protect yourself, it could also be devastating. These are the times in markets that we live for. We live for times of high volatility. We live for times where Bitcoin is making major moves in either direction, because as of 2.5 years ago, you can short the market now, so you can make money in either direction. What we're looking for is volatility, and volatility is returning. Guys, the point of this video was to give you a breakdown of the market, show you what we're facing right now, and also to preach a message of safety, because there's a lot of money that can be made or lost here, just like I said. But guys, before we wrap the video up, there's something I want you to understand, and that is that markets are going to try you. What's going to happen in the next week or two is probably going to result in either a major gain or a major loss for you. But no matter what it does, there's one word that you need to remember, and you need to remember the definition of it, and you need to remember how important it is, and you need to repeat it to yourself every single day that you work in a professional career like cryptocurrencies or whatever it is, especially anything entrepreneurial or business related, and that word is persistence. Guys, I woke up this morning after going to sleep at 3 a.m. last night, groggy and very tired. I'm on my third cup of coffee, but I still sat down and planned this video for 45 minutes. And have all of these notes over here so that I can actually show you guys what the markets are doing. I've made a video on this YouTube channel every single day for the last 2 years. And let me tell you something, it pays off. It's rewarding. It's a good feeling to know that you've been working on something and building something for years, for a decade, for however long it takes you. The longer you've been working on it, the more successful you are, the more persistent you are, the more rewarded you're going to be. And these markets are no different, guys. There are a lot of people who get into cryptocurrency markets. They trade them for a week. They make a Bybit account. They make, oh, I made 5%. Oh, I made 10%. Oh, I made 7%. Oh, I lost 20%. I'm gonna quit. This isn't for me. I don't think I'm ready for this. I think I need to go back to my 9 to 5. I think I need to just go get a lawyer degree or something. Let me be brutally honest with you guys. People that quit at the first sign of failure are failures. As I told you in yesterday's video, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Inside every failure, inside every loss is a lesson that can be used to generate a reward of equal or greater significance. So as we move into the next week or two, and Bitcoin likely has a lot of return to volatility, and you perhaps are going to lose money, or you're perhaps going to make a lot of money. Whether or not you win in this market should not determine whether or not you stay in this market. Because the amazing thing, guys, is that training sucks. It really does. I mean, it's normally not very fun to wake up early and train for 12 hours to be an NBA basketball player. I doubt it's very enjoyable to go through boot camp and train 12, 14, 16 hours a day to become one of the most lethal soldiers on the planet who can go and defend their flag. It's probably, in fact, I know it's not very pleasant to run for president and spend a year of your time getting berated by the media. But let me tell you guys something. Once you have put the hours in, I'm talking thousands of hours, a huge portion of your life, and you look back on what you've done and you can say, I'm proud of what I did, that is worth every single minute, every single drop of blood, every single bead of sweat that ran down your forehead. When you put those hours in, you are going to be rewarded, whether or not you believe it. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor. No matter what happens in the next couple of weeks, no matter what happens in the next couple of years, don't give up on cryptocurrency because you failed today, when 10 years from now, you could be the one leading this market. So guys, please remember that word, persistence. It is what is going to make you successful. A wise man once said, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So start watering your grass. And with that said, guys, I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.